And good morning, YouTube.
Jim, it looks like we are off and just stumbling a little bit. We've got a couple of issues with the I-17 early into this ride. Southbound 17 near Thomas, a crash, and there's residual slowing for that all the way back from Bethany Home Road all the way down to Thomas and southbound 17 again.
And from what I've seen at the Google traffic, that wreck is going to help me out. As you see, I'm coming across from the Far West Valley on Buckeye.
Looks like we've got a crash here that's heading off the freeway near the exit ramp.
And due to all the traffic being jammed up on I-17 headed south, from what I saw, there's next to no traffic on the I-10 going through downtown, which there normally would be a lot of traffic, and a lot of it would be coming over from I-17. So I should be able to catch the 17 north to the stack and get on the 10 east to the 202 without any delays. So that's why I actually cut out of my traffic view and started rolling video. So it's
breaking news we brought you last hour. Liz Truss no longer Britain's prime minister. She announced her resignation just a short while ago after weeks of economic instability and opposition from lawmakers in her own party.
Liz Truss, the now former British Prime Minister, came out in front of 10 Downing Street to address the nation, to tell them that she has resigned. She said she has informed His Majesty the King.
That is ABC's James Longman. Truss only served 44 days, making her the shortest serving leader of the UK. An election to choose a new leader will take place
But the only serving leader of the UK in many years to serve under two monarchs. That's interesting.
Federal officials said last week that the makeshift barrier was illegal. The state responded, saying it will stay until the federal government begins construction on a pair of contracts to complete the wall. Department of Emergency and Military Affairs Director Alan Clark says state officials will work with federal contractors to keep the area in Yuma secure. Heidi Hommel, KTAR News.
Construction to complete the wall set to begin next year. So how worried are you about our state's healthcare worker shortage?
An NAU research survey shows Arizona residents outside of Maricopa County are twice as likely to be concerned about their access to health care. Jose Luis Cruz Rivera with the university says this has to do with the shortage of healthcare workers, especially in rural communities.
We recognize
I'm not worried about it in Phoenix.
For the most health professional shortage area, and we are currently designated as a medically underserved region.
He says about 650 more medical professionals are needed to serve the most basic needs of the community. To alleviate the need, Cruz Rivera says his university has begun offering a free tuition program for low-income students to earn a health services degree. Colton Krolak, KTAR News.
We may now know why you may feel depressed or notice some other emotional changes after having COVID. A study by Banner Sun Health Research Institute finds COVID-19 causes massive changes in the amygdala brain region. Dr. Thomas Beach worked on the study and explains.
The amygdala is important in emotions, and so the depression that people may feel when they're acutely infected with COVID may be due to this.
He says the study looked at the brains of 42 patients who died of COVID-19. Further research will show how long people continue to see changes in emotions after they've been infected and recovered from the virus. KTAR.
I'm not taking this ramp in a long time.
Next, Jamie, here's Detour Dan in the Valley Chevy Dealers Traffic Center.
Hey, sir, still working a crash on the 17 in the clearing stages, southbound I-17 near Thomas, but it is the point B for some pretty heavy slowing back from Bethany Home Road down to Thomas. Once you get by the wreck, you are good to go. There is some checker.
And it's keeping all the traffic off this piece of freeway. Yay, thank you, wreck to the north.
All the way into 43rd Avenue, and there's about 4 different spots of it, but all together, it's adding up to about 3-4 extra minutes right now. 101 into 43rd Avenue, 3-4 extra minutes. Bring that with you, and you'll be just fine. A couple of other surface street issues: 7th Street in Camelback and 36th Street in Baseline. And here's some really good news: the transition ramp overnight reopened from eastbound US 60 to the southbound 101 Price. It may sound like a small deal to you if you don't use it, but it's a big deal for those who do. This traffic report brought to you by The Window Depot, offering the best prices and biggest inventory on in-stock vinyl windows.
Of course, the downside is that it's already after 6 a.m. It's 6:07, 6:08, something like that. I still haven't set my damn clock correctly on my car stereo, and I don't seem to have the Obama phone handy to check the time. But anyway, regardless, it's after 6 a.m. I did leave out of Amazon a little later than normal, so yeah, I don't get to use the carpool exit transition for the 202. I gotta stay in the heavier traffic on the right, which kind of sucks. But speaking of Amazon, I had one of the best days I've had at work at Amazon ever today. So for the most part, I was back at one of these days I'll remember the name of the department. People, where are you working at today? I'm like, prep receive. And apparently prep and receive are two separate departments, but they're kind of functionally doing the exact same thing. Although one involves less prep work, but prep work seems to land on the receive lines, and just straight receive work seems to land on the prep lines. So yeah, functionally the same thing. But that's not all I did today. If that's all that I did today, it would have still been a pretty damn good day at work. But gosh, where do I even start? May as well go in chronological order. I made it to work on time. That's always a perk. Because the traffic was pretty damn heavy. So, and I left a little later than normal. So yeah, that was kind of an accomplishment in and of itself. Managed to walk in the building and clock in right at 6:59. So yeah, feeling like that was a bit of a victory lap there. And noticed when I got in that we had had what I like to refer to as fresh meat, which is a large group of new hires sitting in the foyer at the front of the building. Yeah, every time I see that large group, I'm just like, all right, fresh meat. I'm not sure what the hell movie I got that term from, but it just seems so appropriate, especially the way Amazon grinds people and spits them out. I would estimate maybe out of every 10 people in one of those groups, at the end of 2 weeks, there's only 2 people left. It's amazing how many people. And again, it stems from Amazon's policy of pretty much hiring anybody that applies, that passes the drug tests and passes the not so particular background check. Like, oh, you really wanted this job? Please come work for us. But that said, so I went past the new meat, went past the whole group of fresh meat coming in, and realized that yeah, there's definitely the group that I was with cross training would not be starting our shift in the learning area as we did the day before. So I just kind of was trying to figure out, well, I guess I just go directly to that area stand-up. But where is that area stand-up? Because I'd never been there for it. I'd never been there for it. So I ended up I don't know, just kind of walking through towards that end of the building, kind of wondering where I'm going, and then I realized I was like at exactly the right time, walking near the stand-up area for inbound, and I thought it would be a good time to just pop over and see if Alex was there, just to give her a heads up that I was scheduled for pit retraining on Sunday, beginning of shift Sunday, because I haven't had a chance to tell her that since I've got confirmation of that, which ended up not being true anyway, but I'll get to that. But yeah, I didn't see her, so I'm just kind of going through, and at this point, like, generally speaking, I always try to bring a bag of food with me from home, just because the vending is really pricey at Amazon. And if I've got food that I can bring from home, that's really helping me with my stretching out my income through the month. So, but of course, when I do that, like generally, I'll put it in a fridge near where I'm going to be working in a break room before I clock in. But as I said, I just barely made it to the building in time to clock in at 6:59. So figure I'm going to be, you know, in prep receive. So figured I'd leave my stuff in the little break room there. So in doing that, since I was coming from where Outbound has their stand-up, I ended up walking through the stand-up for Northside Outbound Fluid, which is actually kind of funny because I used to find myself walking through their stand-up like all the time when I was doing when I was regularly unloading totes as a forklift driver. So it's kind of funny, like their leadership doesn't, like they don't think anything of me, you know, even though I'm wearing just a, you know, one of the orange disposable safety vests. So I mean, obviously I'm a level 1 grunt, but like I'm a familiar enough face that just wandering through their stand-up is not even questioned. It was kind of funny. I'm just like, all right, I'm just walked through 2 stand-ups this morning. Good times. Just walk into the break room, drop my stuff in the fridge, come out, walk through the stand-up again, and I walk into another stand-up, and I'm not even sure if it's the one I'm supposed to be at. And you know, at all these stand-up meetings, I should be paying attention. I really should. And I'll be honest, most of the time I don't. Just because 90% of what gets covered is just aimed at new people. Occasionally I hear something of value, but mostly it's just, you know, hey, pay attention to safety, pay attention to quality, blah, blah, blah. Come back from break, don't be dilly-dally and la-la. It's, yeah, okay, yeah, y'all are being babysitters right now. Like, I'm not... This isn't really directed towards me. So, you know, whatever. At this point, I'm trying to find Daniel, who has been my learning ambassador through this whole thing, this whole bit of training. Well, he's been kind of shadowing me as I've been training in prep and receive, and I guess he was down in prep and receive are not the same area, even though they're functionally the same job. Anyway, somehow I just did not find him. In fact, I didn't see him until after I left the building. He's like, hey, where were you today? I'm like, no, where were you today? But it was kind of cool. We chatted afterwards. He's cool as hell. And it's kind of funny, like, when I'm shadowing him, because we're next to each other, and being that he's doing the training, like, there's the odds of somebody walking up going, hey, Daniel, and both of us turning our heads and going, what? it's like, that happened so many times yesterday. Yeah, nonstop entertainment. So anyway, I never did find him, but I did find, actually, I guess I walked up and talked to somebody. I'm not even sure who I talked to. Like, I'm dealing with, at this point, some managers, and keep in mind, like, Wednesday is a funny day because it's like, it's the back half people generally run Wednesday, even though front half people are working. So it's kind of a different management team, and then I'm in a different area, so I'm dealing with a lot of people that are unfamiliar to me. Like, I think they recognize me because I've been in the building for so long, but yeah, they're anyway. They got me logged in, got me on a workstation. You know, and at this point, like, I know how to log in and get started working in that area. So I was just thinking to myself, oh, well, I guess I'm done with Daniel. I'm kind of, you know, on my own here. That's fine. I'm ready to be on my own. And come to find out, Daniel was in the other area wondering where the hell I was. But, you know, not a big deal. I mean, I did, you know, just fine without him. And I was probably only there maybe about an hour-ish. Having some problems with my workstation not spitting out labels. And so I'm kind of trying to keep working, but I keep having like stuff I can't finish because I can't label it spitting out, and I'm waiting for, you know, a tech person to come fix my workstation, but I'm continuing to work. And kind of right in the middle of that, a manager that today was the first day I was working with him comes up to me. He's like, hey, you're they're looking for you down at Learning. I'm like, really? It's like, yeah, they want to do your pit training right now. I'm like, hell yeah. He goes, I don't know if you'd be coming back here after that or not, so you probably want to take all your stuff. And I'm like, okay, no problem. I said, I feel bad leaving all the shit here. He's like, dude, we got it handled. We'll have a problem solver come take care of it. So I end up going through pit training. Of course, I fly through the retraining with flying colors, not a problem. And I knew I would. I mean, it's generally pretty much everybody from the top down agrees that it's kind of nonsensical that I'm going through this retraining right now, but it's just happening as a matter of policy, which I'm still kind of confused about, because when the so-called near miss incident happened, or pit incident, whatever they're wanting to classify it as, when it happened, there was an investigation, and the person who handles, you know, pit certification and training and stuff was there for all of that, and I was told that it was not a problem to go back to work. So I didn't end up getting suspended until, you know, I finished out my shift driving a forklift, spent the next day driving a forklift, loading trucks, and took the next week off due to dental disaster 2.0. And then, you know, came back to find out that I couldn't clock in because of the whole HR fiasco with not putting in my medical leave correctly. Thank you, phone bank people in India. And then, you know, going to get on my forklift to find out that I was suspended. And anyway, I don't want to relive that, but it just, that was a day that sucked. And yeah. Oh yeah, I got hungry kitties that are going to be very unhappy because they're out of wet food and have to eat kibble. So anyway, I'm getting long-winded on all this. So anyway, everything went great with the pit training. In fact, it's kind of funny. There's a policy with the training that there's a minimum amount of time it has to be. Well, she gives me the written test that I guess is supposed to take 15 minutes, and I knocked it out in about a minute and a half. Got every question right except one. It was the only one that I was a little uncertain of. And I guess so for things that you do wrong, there's different levels of what kind of infraction it is. And I'm not really good at memorizing that kind of stuff. I'm just good at remembering that, hey, don't do that. So I couldn't remember, you know, and to me, it's not relevant. If it's something I'm not supposed to do, it's not something I'm supposed to do. I'm not going to make a decision. Well, should I do something I'm not supposed to do? Well, let me think. Is it a level 1, level 2, or level 3 thing I'm not supposed to do? It's something I'm not supposed to do. I'm not doing it. You're being overly demanding, Sambo. Shut the hell up. Thank you. Anyway, I got my downloader up there, by the way. I guess I'll just get to work right here on this stuff. I'm way too wired to go to sleep right now, so I'm gonna work on some karaoke music for a while. I'm debating on what artist I want to work on right now, but I'm probably gonna work on Ween, just because I just got this. Where is it? Right. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. Where is it? Why is I'm looking right at it in my screen? Oh, there it is. How do I hold my phone to get it on? Ween. LMLYP. I don't know how I've gone this far in my life without never hearing this song before, but I think I have a new favorite song. And I'm not going to say what LMLYP stands for. If you know, and you know, and if you want to look that up, you can. But I think I have a new favorite Ween song for sure. So yeah, I want to get that loaded. I've got some other other karaoke nerds. It's just been a wealth of great karaoke for Ween. Let's see where I'm at, where I left off. I think it takes about 10 page downs to get to where I left off. Ween, oh my dear, falling in love, and wow, Eddie Rabbit. That's not something this channel does a lot of. I like Eddie Rabbit. At this point, I'm pretty sure I got karaoke for all his hits, but I'll take some deep tracks from Eddie Rabbit. Hell yeah. Anyway, so yeah, pit training was just way cooler than I thought it was going to be. I mean, again, like, just passed the test, everything but one question. Did it in no, like, there's all this time allotted, and I didn't really need it. And then there's a minimum, so it's just like, I don't think I think basically they just had to keep me labor tracked and learning for them. Like, once I was at the bare minimum, she's like, yeah, you really didn't need this, but you just, you know, it's formality. I hope you understand. I'm like, no, I get it. It's fine. This is fun. This is fun for me. It just felt good to be back on a forklift. I felt like I had my toy back, and of course, no problem on like, it's at this point, it fortunately, it wasn't such an extended period of time of me not being off that I wasn't unfamiliar with the controls at all. I just got right on it and like, yeah, I've got this. Why am I here again? But what made it even cooler is one of the guys that I work with a lot, today was his first day as a learning ambassador. So he was actually, as a specifically pit training learning ambassador. So I was actually doing the actual, like, he was the one that was telling me, you know, what to do and like watching me and stuff. But he's like, you've got this. He said, I still don't get why you're here. And I'm like, stupid shit. I tell you the details later. Somebody flexing their authority while I knock down some totes. That's it. That's all. Stupid shit. Anyway, so yeah, that went really well. And in the middle, although my panic moment, in the middle of that, when we left for first break, and I should back up because today has just been by today I mean yesterday, because I'm on, you know, rock and roll overnight shift time. Right as I was going to sleep yesterday, daytime, I got a text message from somebody I haven't heard from in a couple of years, whose name was still in my phone. That was pretty awesome. But the manager of Cafe Monarch in Old Town Scottsdale, which is actually one of the best restaurants in all of Arizona, and I have hosted and DJ'd their Christmas party for many years. I couldn't even say how many years I've done it. Obviously didn't do it the last 2 years because of the scary pandemic. But yeah, out of the blue, he just texted me and is like, hey, can you still do our party? And this is the date. It is on a Sunday. I'm going to be a little bit hard pressed to get the day off, but I did get a chance to talk to Sean about it. And he does think he can put it through for me for vacation time, since I still got some earned vacation time. He's like, yeah, get it in right now. get it in right now, because we're getting into the tough season. And you know, we're in the peak season right now, but I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be able to get it off, not a problem. And if I don't, I do have enough, you know, UPT that I won't lose my job at Amazon, because I will not be missing out on doing their DJing their Christmas party. So anyway, at that point, I go on my first break and I go to my Amazon A to Z app to put in for time off on that, and I realize, oh shit, open enrollment for benefits ends tonight at midnight. So like last night at midnight, and I get this whole bag full of all the details of the insurance plans and all this stuff. Yeah, like I was really gonna read all that. Right, I didn't read jack shit. I compiled it and stuck it to the side and stuff. I even brought it to work yesterday. Didn't read it. And I was like, oh shit. Now, Ty, one of the managers I work with that I really like working with, had offered to help me with it. He goes, you know what, I'll walk you through it. It's a company thing. You can do that. You can actually do that on the clock. I'll walk, if you can't figure it out, like I'll walk you through it. I'll help you with it. So when I realized, holy crap, like by my next break, it will be too late. I actually need to kind of do this now, but obviously I need to finish my pit training. Yeah, I rolled through Inbound just to see if I could find Ty, and or in the alternative find Sean. Couldn't find either, but I ran into Joe, who let me know that. And again, like I said, just best day at work ever. I was so bummed when I got that little where the heck did I just put it? Last time I went to West Tech Recyclers, aka Ghettotronics, I did the video about all the neat electronic doodads that I found. The most interesting one, of course, being this vintage Sanyo Beta Hi-Fi VCR. And I'd mentioned that I'd found a really nice Bluetooth speaker that retailed for like $60, and I got it for $2 and got to enjoy it one day and left it there, and I was absolutely convinced somebody on day shift had stolen it. And I had looked pretty thoroughly, and Joe had even helped me look that day as well, as did a couple other like lower level managers in Inbound. And and I went to security and loss prevention, just nobody had seen it. So anyway, I'm in Inbound looking for either Ty or Sean to let them know, hey, once I finish my pit training, I'm going to need some help getting my open enrollment, because holy shit, we just got a couple hours before that gets cut off. And Joe's like, hey man, I found your speaker. So yeah, there it is. It's the Jam, what the hell is it called? Jam something. Anyway, for a little teeny tiny speaker with a little whatever the hell how you call these hooks here, you can clip it to whatever. It doesn't look like much, but it's not a cheap plasticky thing. Like, it's pretty sturdy, it's pretty heavy, it's got a rechargeable USB rechargeable, and the amount of sound it puts out for its size is really impressive. Absolutely love the thing. So ecstatic. It's like, oh my god, like I'm not already having an amazing day, like I'm getting my speaker back. He's like, yeah, just come. He goes, I'm not sure where it is, but come back later. I got you for that. And I'm just like, that's awesome. At this point, nobody knows where Sean is. Nobody knows where Ty is. And I need to get myself back to the pit training area, which of course is completely across the building. We're talking like a half mile away, almost. It's a bit of a walk. It's definitely over a quarter mile. So I was a little late getting back there, and I just explained to them that, hey, open enrollment. I had to touch base with like my managers, who of course are Inbound, and they all know that like my direct managers are far away across the building. So again, like, it's kind of funny, like when I show up late for something, like it's usually not really, most everybody assumes I've got a pretty good reason for it, and I felt like I did. And they're like, oh, no problem. I think they were just kind of glad that I was killing away that minimum amount of time that had to transpire of me being labor track, because I really didn't have any training that I needed. I just needed to be there, or be, I don't even think I was there. I think they were actually counting the time I wasn't there. But yeah, of course, got recertified, and then I was asking Jessica, well, at this point, what do I need to do? I said, because I'm in prep, but I need to go over to Inbound, and she's like, well, at this point, like you need to be labor track. Once you leave here within 15 minutes, you need to be labor track somewhere. She goes, probably your best bet is go to prep and let them know what's up. And so, which I did. And he's like, you know what? He goes, just, and I don't even know his name, but the manager that I worked with the first time today, who I just hit it off really well with. He's like, no, I get it. You're fine. He goes, but just so it looks like you're working in this area, he goes, just log into a workstation and push through like 3 totes and just head out. You'll be fine. I'm like, okay, that works. So yeah, just did 3 totes of whatever product really quick, and rolled on to heading back to Inbound. Just happened to pass Outbound, and caught up with a couple of the managers there, so I got to share with them, hey, the good news, because they've been like, God, we want you back here, we want you back here. And I'm like, yeah, they say they're going to retrain me on pit. I keep getting getting, oh, next week, it'll be next week, it'll be next week. So I got to go by and give them the good news that, yes, I am PIT certified again. I can check out a forklift again. However, I've been told I have to spend all of next week finishing off my cross training in prep and receive. And they're like, oh, well, thank God. Good to know. Thanks for the update. So both of them were happy about that. And Alex, and then I forget the other guy's name. And again, he's you know, back half, so I only work with him on Wednesdays. But again, he's learned to value having me either loading trucks or unloading totes, either or. And man, just the last 3 weeks, I've had so many like center of the building water spiders come up to me going, when are you going to be back doing totes? So everybody else is slow as shit on totes. So it's nice to be missed in certain areas like that. So anyway, walking back, end up running into Liz and Mia, and they're just both like, what happened to you the other day? The guys that are, it's like all the guys that are trying to help us are awful. Because I've been doing the water spider thing and kind of focusing on pallet receive. I'm like, yeah, they drug me in for mandatory retraining or mandatory cross training. They're like, and I guess Liz kind of gave me some inside information of like, they're pretty much nipping that program in the bud just because it's ended up it's resulted in two issues. One of them being that people that are really good working in their main areas are being trained in other areas where they're obviously not productive at. So it's leaving the areas that, you know, like for me, that area would be inbound. It's leaving the areas where we'd normally would be staffed with less efficient workers and train, you know, and people who are new that just aren't as good. And then the other problem, and I didn't even think of this, that was mentioned to me, was that it also has way too many of the learning ambassadors busy doing training. That's not all they do. Like, they also have areas they work in, but instead of being in the areas they normally work in, they're overwhelmed doing training. So it's like kind of twofold, causing, I mean, it's a good thing to have people cross-trained and able to work in more departments for sure. But this whole, whoever's idea it was to, hey, let's do that with everybody, it's ended up being a bit much. But I'm already on that track. I'm going to finish it. And I'm enjoying what I'm doing in prep and receive anyway, as eager as I am to get back on the forklift. But yeah, but it was cool, like hitting up with them. And then I told them, you know, it's like, yeah, I'm out of time for open enrollment. I need to find Sean or Ty. And they're like, well, Sean's definitely here, but probably in the cube. They call the cube, like that's like the management office area. He said, I don't think Ty's here. I haven't seen Ty all day. I'm like, well, and they're like, well, we're going to HR. And I'm like, cool, I'll roll with you. I said, if I don't see them, I guess HR is my next step for getting help with insurance enrollment. And it worked out really nice. I got to, you know, chat and walk with him all the way to HR, which is a bit of a walk. A lot of walking today around the building. And it just so happened that Sean was right up there in, like, at the desk right over next to HR. And Sean walked me through everything, got me signed up, got me. I ended up signing up for vision care, signing up for dental coverage. Oh God, do I need the dental coverage? I decided to decline the insurance because at this point I still qualify for access, which I think is largely due to my mental health. So it just doesn't make sense to have additional money taken out of my paycheck for coverage, which probably has copays when I've already got something that doesn't require copays. So hopefully that decision doesn't backfire on me. But yeah, I did get into that, and then there was some other stuff, and I don't need to go into all the details on that. But come to find out, I guess I've got like there's a lot of benefits. I didn't really understand what all benefits I had, and Sean walked me through with everything on it at a computer terminal, and just explained everything really nicely to me in a way like I'm just like, this is just a new thing for me. As I tried to do it on the app, and it just goes over my head. He's like, no problem, man. That's what I'm here for. So. That was nice. Got that all taken care of, and then after that went right back to prep receive, and spent the rest of the day there, and it was a really good time. But yeah, just ran into it was just kind of funny. Just a lot of people are in areas where they wouldn't normally be because of the mandatory cross training going on, and just, I mean, just the fact I'm once again a Amazon certified forklift driver is pretty big news, and I've become, you know, really appreciated in that position, and it's just everybody's just been dumbfounded that the way I got pulled off of it last time, so pretty excited about it, and then this. Then this happened. So working in prep and receive, like I'm opening boxes coming in from vendors, and basically taking products out and getting them ready for sale, and put into totes to be sent off to actual fulfillment centers. And different boxes are packed in different ways. And sometimes I got to deal with stuff that gets damaged in transit. And sometimes there's packing materials in the boxes, which usually is, you know, a little bit of bubble wrap or some crumpled up paper or whatever. But then out of nowhere, this giant ass piece of bubble wrap, and I mean it's thick and it's huge. I could bubble wrap a person with this. It's insane. Like, it won't even fit in the trash in my workstation. It won't. Anyway, I kind of rolled it up. I thought, well, maybe I don't know what I'm gonna do with that. Maybe I'll need it to pack other stuff, because I'm all about just I'm all about recycling. It means a lot to me. So if I can take packing material in boxes that I'm unpacking, and then when I'm prepping stuff and I need materials, if I can use those materials as opposed to the new materials that Amazon is providing, I figure I'm keeping those materials out of a landfill, and the managers in that department seem to be okay with it. It's like, yeah, you're packing stuff really, really nice. In fact, there were a couple instances with some ceramic horses that the materials we had were just woefully inadequate, and I was able to use some stuff that came from some other stuff to pad them really nice and package them really nicely. So some stuff just isn't really packaged from its manufacturer in a way that lends itself for an online store that mails and delivers stuff, especially considering how brutally things are handled in shipping. So anyway, I got this insanely huge piece of bubble wrap, and I'm asking people, it's like, can I take something like this home? Like, I'm not stealing it. It's garbage. And I asked, I didn't really ask any of the managers in prep and receive, because I feel like I don't really have that rapport with them. But I figure, you know what? I can walk around the building carrying this. Like, I can throw it in any dumpster in the building. Like, it's the end of the night. I clean up my workstation, and I gotta go to Inbound anyway to get my speaker from Joe, and I get over there, and Tess is there, and a couple of the other upper level managers there. Sean was nowhere to be seen, but anyways, and those people are all happy to see me because I haven't been there all day, which is odd, and they're like, where'd that come from? And believe it or not, that came out of a box that I did in prep. I'm like, what are you going to do with it? I said, well, I want to take it home. I said, but can I? And really, like, none of the management had any idea. They're like, I don't know. I guess ask security. And fortunately, again, it's, there's a lot to be said for familiarity and people knowing you. But yeah, when I went to security, it's the same guy that's been there pretty much as long as I've worked. He's like, I'm like, hey, if you want to go through it, make sure I got nothing in there. He's like, dude, I'm not worried about you, man. So yeah, I got to bring this insanely huge piece of bubble wrap home with me. And I got my Bluetooth speaker back, and I got my forklift certification back, and yeah, didn't even have to use my AK. I have to say it was a good day. Anyway, wow, can't believe I've been rambling on about this for 40 damn minutes. Thanks for joining me on the ride and sharing my good news.